Oh, hi.
It's the day of the bean.
It is the day of the bean.
It's the bean day, as you guys have called it. The day of the beans. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome to the Friday Bean. If it's your first time here, let us know in the chat. We are still sick. Marc more so than me.
Yeah, I
So
finally caught whatever ick she had. It's awesome.
sorry. So you'll have to be patient with us again this week, but I'm feeling a little bit better. So hopefully I can get through all this hunky dory.
Yeah.
I also need to apologize to our Patreon subscribers, which we gained a bunch more this week. I built out the presentation today and I said to myself, I'm feeling icky. I'm going to put in the new Patreon subscribers on our thank you screen when I'm feeling better, and I didn't do it. So there's your first lesson of mental health. You know,
Don't do stuff that isn't mandatory.
I promise.
Like doing your mustache before a stream because my nose be running and I ain't fitting to have that life.
I promise. It'll be done next week. I promise this time. This week just got crazy. We had the end of our E-Rank 10-day challenge, which if you guys missed that, it's perpetually available. It wasn't like a limited time thing. You can take that anytime, but we had live streams to do this week. I was in meetings with E-Rank all day yesterday, but with those meetings all day yesterday, hopefully, I can't say too much just in case it doesn't turn out the way that I'm hoping. But Anthony and I sat in a meeting for about 2 hours yesterday, and I'm hoping that we're able to make the trend reports that I release on Patreon and to HAA students more in-depth to specific industries. I'll leave it at that because, like I said, if something goes wrong, what?
Leela Sticker says she got an email from us. Was it about this live stream? Or was it from starlamoreteam@gmail.com? We're watching you. If you're here, we're gathering evidence and we'll be pursuing legal action if you don't stop. Just so you're aware, we're gathering. People are telling us what you're doing. Anyway, if you receive an email from starlamoreteam@gmail.com, it's not us. It's a scammer, worthless piece of trash who's going to end up in federal prison for fraud. So if that's not the email you received, then cool. But
If you guys ever get an email from me and it's not from something at handmadealphaacademy.com, it's not me. It's somebody pretending to be me. And this person just happens to like know my channel enough that they're asking like very specific Etsy related questions in their emails. If you get one of these emails, just forward it to us at Starla at handmadealphaacademy.com so we can add it to our big old list.
It's inevitable, dude. You get famous enough and somebody's gonna try to mimic you and take advantage of your people. It's okay. They're fine. They're just a pathetic waste of oxygen. It's fine.
Yes. So just forward that to us, and you can actually marking it as spam doesn't do anything, but you can go through
report it as phishing.
Yeah, you can report it as phishing.
Make sure it's not actually us though, because if you report us as phishing, that does damage to us over time. But anyway,
if it ends in at handmadealphaacademy.com, it's us. This person is using like my profile picture and everything though, so I can understand it being. I am not Starla. Who's our team? Bubbers, are you our team?
Me.
Are you team? You're to make a team.
To make a team.
We got Michelle. Michelle's resting. Is that a team? Does that qualify as a team? What team are we talking about? Anyway, guys, we're going to be talking about mental health today. Couldn't get audio on my TV. I looked at our stats for our video that did real good, the trend video, and most people watched it on TV.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You guys watching us on your TV?
Who sits down at their computer to watch YouTube?
I don't know.
Primarily just people using the app on their TV now.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Okay.
I think we're good to get into it. You can go ahead and share away.
Share away.
I classify my animals as my team. I would if they didn't, they're the opposite of good teammates. They destroy things. All right, guys. To those who arrived late, I have been sick now for 2 weeks. And I've not updated the screen. I promise I will do it next week. This week was crazy with all my E-rank stuff that I had to do. So I promise that your name will be added to this if you have joined the Patreon. But
I was joking about the YouTube on the computer comment, just so you're aware. I think we all have computer YouTubers and TV YouTubers that we watch, like people you only exclusively watch on your computer so you can interact, and then people you just don't care about interacting with that you watch on your TV.
Yeah.
At least that's how I handle it.
Yeah. Entertainment YouTubers are for the TV. People like, if I'm watching like one of Pam's videos or any Etsy YouTuber, I watch those on my computer.
Yeah,
and
of
and then if it's something that I really don't care about, I'll pop it up on my phone. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. First and foremost, our Patreon be poppin'. I really appreciate everybody who's joined the Patreon this month. It means the world to us. For those of you who are not aware, Mark and I don't accept paid sponsorships, despite the fact that we get literally thousands of emails from people asking us to promote their weird services and tools and websites and products and, you know, Audible and Magic Spoon and NordVPN, and it's cool. I would love to be making, you know, thousands of dollars from these people, but I don't want to. I don't want to recommend stuff I don't use. So instead, rather than us taking paid sponsors, we give you guys the opportunity to provide channel sponsorships through our Patreon, and in return, you get some cool stuff. There's 3 different price tiers. They're very affordable. And, you know, each one comes with different stuff depending on which one you sign up for. There is a link down below in the video description if you're interested in checking that out, comparing the price plans. But we tried to make it like, you know, price of a cup of coffee to a price of a nice big Grand Slam breakfast once a month. And in return, you get such good stuff. I tell you what, guys, this month is the month to join because the January Trends Digest, I even showed this to Anthony during our meeting yesterday, which obviously I used E-Rank, and Anthony is the CEO of E-Rank. And he was just in awe of how many trends I was able to surface, because there are 50 trends in this month's Trends Digest, and all of them, actually, I think all but one of them, it's kind of close, but almost all of them have more searches last month than what there are competitors that have those products listed. As in, like, if you list these products, you will be only one of a few people to have them listed. So if ever there was a time to join the Patreon, this is definitely the time to do so. We also give you guys some type of free PDF or tool each month. This month it was our reflection and reset workbook that Michelle built. You also get different Canva templates every month. If you join in January, you can still go back and get all of the incentives that rolled out October, November, and December as well. So you get access to everything that's ever been released on the Patreon. We also have Shop Roulette, where those on the $25 tier can submit their shops, and I select one to do a full critique on. And then I also have a post called Starla Shop Picks, and we have our Gold Star Spotlight where I pick Gold Star Alphas who are doing things right, and I feature them. So lots of good stuff. But if you guys are interested in checking that out, be sure to put the link down below. I have put the link down below. I am so sick. I'm sick of being sick. Have you guys ever been sick for 2 weeks straight and you just you feel like your brain is mush? A little more mushy every single day. Did you get that video or that email address?
Yeah, they've got a new one.
Oh, good.
It's okay. I'm shooting them an email.
Cool. Send them a nice little cease and desist.
I will.
All right. Also, even if you're not on the Patreon, down below in the video description, you can grab my 2026 Etsy marketing calendars for free. I release these every single year, and they tell you when to start preparing products for specific holidays. It's easy to forget, especially, you know, who's thinking about Christmas time when it's still hot outside? Well, unfortunately, we kind of need to be. So this calendar set will tell you when to start planning for things like Mother's Day and Easter, and when to put things on clearance. And you also get little tips and tricks from me every single month. You can print these out, you can keep them digitally. They come as a PDF, and they are probably my favorite thing that I release every single year. So again, those are down below if you haven't grabbed them already. January is the best time to do so because then you get a full 12 months of planning ready to go for you. And lastly, the Discord is open and it's finally starting to gain some traction. Thank you to everybody who's been active, who's been chatting in there. For those of you who are like, what the heck is Discord? Basically, it is like an old school chat room. For those of you who either, trying to disconnect from social media, or maybe you don't use social media at all, it's a place where you don't have to look at anything else other than the alpha discussions taking place. So basically, right when you join, Mark has a little thing that you have to agree to, and then you'll get access to all of these little community chats. And you just click on one and it'll pop up the full thread of what people are talking about. And it's very simple. It's like I said, it's very much like an old school like AOL chat room. But we have a lot of students and community members who are really trying to get off Facebook. And we've got a fantastic Facebook community, HAA students, we've got the student campus. But if for any reason you're just not a Facebook person, this is an alternative to that. So thank you to everybody who's been active in our Discord. I have not been active this week because I've been sick. Have you been active in the Discord this week?
Like Monday and Tuesday, but I haven't had the energy, dude.
I understand. But we had the Discord like 2 years ago and it never took off. So we're really going to nurture it this time. And we need all the help we can get with keeping the community going. All right, let's get into it. Why are my transitions not working? They're just like going there we go. Okay. Stress in your business. I feel like today is the best day to talk about this because, I'm not stressed, but I'm sick. And I feel like being sick kind of makes you a little bit more stressed, right? We've also got a nice big snowstorm coming tomorrow. Who's excited for that? Who's going to be getting hit with the snowstorm and exploding trees, which doesn't mean what you guys think. Just means that they're going to potentially splinter. Doesn't mean that they won't fall on your house, but they're not gonna like landmine explode. Anyway, guys, stress in your business. This is something that Mark and I are very passionate about because both of us have pretty bad anxiety. I am on medication for my anxiety. Mark decided to discontinue his medication for his anxiety. He prefers to kind of handle things on his own through individual management. But as always, disclaimers. Everybody is going to deal with their stress, their anxiety, their overwhelm differently. These are just the things that work for me. So I'm not promising that this is a cure-all. However, if you find yourself getting easily overwhelmed in your day-to-day life, I've been doing business for most of my life. And if you haven't noticed, I'm quite young, which means I've been doing this since I was a kid. So these are just the things over the years that have allowed me to stay accountable, have allowed me to avoid overwhelm. And you know what? Sometimes I still get overwhelmed, which is why after our first round of tips, I'm going to have a set of rock bottom tips. So tips for when you actually do fall all the way to the bottom and you need to pick yourself back up. These are not things that I think that you should, try to execute all of them, but think of them like books on your bookshelf. And maybe the next time you're feeling that overwhelm creep up, you pull one of those books off the bookshelf and try it out. These are all kind of like tools in your arsenal. So
I said that's -45°C. I'm assuming
Celsius.
You meant to say -4 or 5°C, not -45, because that's -50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I think
and I feel like that's a little low. I think they probably just fat fingered an extra number.
Yeah, that's very cold.
If not, move, please. You're gonna die.
Yeah, that's like igloo temperatures. All right, so let's first start with daily management. These are the things that will hopefully manage your day-to-day stress, keep you more organized, help to eliminate some of that stress when you feel things creeping up. Overall, these are the things that I do almost every day to make sure that the stress doesn't hit to begin with, because it sometimes when anxiety hits, there's nothing that you can really do to tamp it back down. It just, once it boils over, it's boiled over and you got to wait for it to pass. Hopefully these things help that from happening to begin with. But if they do, again, I have some rock bottom tips as well. So first of all, the thing that has made the biggest difference in my life is setting work hours for myself. It's so important. So I have a strict clock in and clock out time. If if Mark and I get up at 5:30 to put our kiddo on the bus and we don't go back to bed, this week we've been going back to bed because I'm sick. But if we don't go back to bed, I try to be done working by, 2:30 to 4 o'clock, just because there's no reason for me to work into the night. Now, on days like today where I've taken a nap and I've gotten a late start, this is where we're starting our day at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. I usually will work until 6. But no matter what, I clock in and I clock out at a specific time. Fridays, I don't really do very much at all. I do the Friday bean. I record my video for Tuesday. If I have any emergency emails, I'll handle those. But for the most part, on Friday, I take that off early. Saturday and Sundays, I do not work. I just don't. I make sure that I'm spending time on my art. This weekend, I'm going to be working on my book. So just make sure that you are respecting the time frames that you've set for yourself. And make sure that you also take little breaks. Get up from your desk, walk around, go fill up your water, make a cup of tea, walk the dog around the block, whatever it might be. Just take little short breaks frequently. And this has been, a really big one, not to Mark, because Mark, we live together. We're together at all times, every single day. But communicating work hours to family who might be prone to bugging you. And some of you, this will be spouse and children. For us, it's family outside of the house where, my dad used to randomly just stop by. And I told him, I'm like, you can't do that. Like, just because, you live down the street, you can't just pop in. I might be recording, I might be working, I might be scripting, and you can't interrupt me when I'm scripting a video because, like, if I'll never be able to get back to it. These are my work hours, and just because I'm home, it doesn't mean that you can't treat it like I'm leisurely at home. This is my work. So for example, our entire family knows that they cannot communicate with us right now.
Yep.
They know that on Fridays from about 11 a.m. to about 2 p.m., they can't contact us, they can't call us, they can't text us because we are doing the Friday bean. Some of them, my mom included, will turn on her TV just to see that we're on the Friday bean.
No, sir.
To know if she can, contact us.
Nope.
And then respecting your own work hours. This can get hard if you've got like a big product launch coming up, or you've got an order that has to ship on the weekend. Obviously, you can add some flexibility to that, but for the most part, 80% of the time, attempt to respect the work hours that you've set, because if you don't respect them, you can't expect anybody else to want to respect them either.
Well, like I said, I might be naked.
You naked? That's okay.
That's okay.
You
go, girl.
You go, girl. All right, reflection time. This is one that I thought was so stupid when I was done. Just like, I remember when I was younger, I tried to meditate and I couldn't get it. So I frequently tell Mark, I'm like, I'm going to go meditate. And then I'm just like lost in the shower
lost in the sauce.
Yeah, for like an hour,
Fine.
just zoning out, staring at nothing. So reflection time, it's something that sounds really silly and a lot of people think that they're doing it, but they're really not. I recommend reviewing every single accomplishment that you have. And for myself, I make this really easy because I make a list. No matter how small something is, every month I have a list in my planner where I write January accomplishments, and anything that I accomplish, no matter how small it is, I write it down. And I know that sounds crazy. It only takes a second though, and then at the end of the month, when you feel like, man, I don't feel like I got anything done this month, you can look at the list of literally every single thing that you did. It only takes a second. I highly recommend it because it's really good for your dopamine. So write down everything. Also, spend some time thinking about the things that you did well and the things that you did not do well. Thankfully, if you use a legend planner, I don't have mine, but here's Mark's. If you've got a legend planner, there are designated pages every single month that, require you to sit and reflect on your accomplishments. They say, like, what are lessons that you learned this month? What could you do better next month? What areas of your life are lacking? Spend time reflecting on those things, and I highly recommend either getting a legend planner or a journal, something physical that you keep on your desk so that you feel more inclined to use it. I'm a big fan of going all out. Like go and get yourself a cute Lisa Frank notebook and some gel pens if that's your vibe. Do something that feels fun for you that you're more likely to do.
Disassociation time is sacred. That it is.
It is. It really is. I don't watch TV by myself. I think that this is like one of the weird things that makes Mark and I different. Well, you will watch YouTube by yourself. I don't.
If I'm really sick or like there's something wrong, yeah, but I usually don't.
I don't watch anything. I do not watch TV by myself. I do not watch movies by myself. I do not watch YouTube by myself. Unless I need to learn how to do something in that moment. I don't watch anything. I'm not someone who turns on the TV. I always have the TV on, but it's always on a random jazz or lo-fi playlist with like a scene, like a pretty house, a coffee shop scene in the background. That's the only thing that I ever turn on.
We really are those people for the most part that you're like, did you see this show? And we're like, no, we didn't. We don't watch TV.
Nope.
Unless it's something like nostalgic for us, we really don't.
Nope. We don't watch TV. We don't watch movies. We are watching Fallout.
Oh yeah.
We're watching Fallout, and we watch we have several YouTubers that we watch every time they have a video come out. But that is our TV time at night, is just watching our favorite YouTubers. And that helps me because then I can learn things like editing styles and stuff. All right, this is probably the most life-changing thing that I've ever done for myself, and I hope that this is the one that you take note of if everything else sounds hooey to you. 3 tasks per day. No matter what, I only give myself 3 tasks per day, 3 big tasks per day. In my planner, every Sunday, I will sit every day, and I will write my 3 tasks that I do that day. So, for example, Friday, it's Friday Bean Day. Today, I'm doing the Friday Bean. I'm going to record my YouTube video, and I'm going to check my email. Like I do like a very minor support for emergency emails on Fridays, and make sure that everything is good, or that anything that's in my inbox can wait until Monday if it's not something crucial. Because my students will usually put in there like no rush. I know it's Friday. So 3 big tasks per day. Make sure that you write them down. I like to do that on Sundays. I like to sit, every Sunday and just plan my whole week out. Some of you can't do that. Some of you, things are a little more sporadic. That's okay. Just in the morning, make sure that when you're having your coffee, you write down your 3 tasks. And if you get finished early, have your bonus task list. Make yourself a little list of things that you would like to do, but that aren't urgent. I just call this my overflow list. So if it only takes me like an hour or 2 to get my 3 big tasks done per day, I'll start grabbing stuff on my overflow list. I'll script my video for the following week. I'll start a project that I've been wanting to start. And sometimes, like on Wednesday, I was sick, and I've been sick for over a week, but our house was gross because everybody's been sick. So on Wednesday, I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn on an audiobook. I finished working by like 3 o'clock. I said, I'm turning on an audiobook. Nobody bother me. I'm rage cleaning the house, and I'm listening to my audiobook. And I did. So that was one of my overflow tasks.
Okie dokie.
Just 3 per day. All right. And asking the kids to help. So this was especially helpful when Taylor was wee itty bitty. Now she's a big stinky teenager who doesn't want to help her mom, but she would if I gave her money. But give the kids a job. So when I had a little itty bitty one, and I needed to work on my jewelry, Mark, this was when he was in the military. He was working 16 hours a day. I was basically just by myself all the time. I created daily baskets. Monday basket, Tuesday basket, Wednesday basket, and so forth. And I just went to the Dollar Tree. I got some of those cheapo little plastic baskets. I got a different color for every day of the week, and I put them up. They stayed. We had this big utility room. I put them up, and then Monday would roll around and I would be ready to work. And Taylor, of course, would be, running around and screaming. I would get her Monday basket out, and it had, a theme. So I had a Very Hungry Caterpillar basket, and it had the Very Hungry Caterpillar book, and it had like a puzzle, an activity. Sometimes I would do like a sensory tub, but I would give her a different themed basket every day of the week so that it was always fresh and new. She was always excited to get her Monday basket because these are toys she only got to play with on Monday for a certain period of time. And for her, that was her job. Mommy is going to go in the other room and do her job. Here's your job. Here's your Monday basket. And she would go through it and get all excited and play with the things in her Monday basket. So daily baskets really helped me. They don't need to be anything crazy. It could be a blank notebook and a pack of stickers. And you say, fill this notebook with stickers. Draw little pictures to go with your stickers. And then for big kids, it gets harder, especially depending on how old they are. You can ask them to help you out. A lot of kids are going to be willing to, help when they're like, elementary school age. You can have them do things like, prep your packaging for you. Sometimes kids they just want to be involved. They want to see what you're doing, and they might not do the best job. Like, don't give them anything crazy to do, but give them something little that they can do, even if it's just, wadding up tissue paper and sticking it in packages, whatever it might be. You can make a list. For example, for Taylor, when she got a little older, we did a daytime and nighttime task list themed around Five Nights at Freddy's, where we did day shift and night shift. And I just made it in Canva and went up and printed it. And it would have like her daily tasks that she needed to do for her day shift, and then her nighttime tasks for her night shift. And then if she completed those, we did something, on the weekend, like go get ice cream or something. So find a way to make it fun depending on what your kids like. Making sure you have a schedule. You guys know that I'm crazy about my planner. I would not be able to do all of the things that I do, including Handmade Alpha Academy, E-Rank, my YouTube channel, always having a Friday Bean topic, and now the Patreon. I would not be able to do all of this without having a schedule for myself. And for me, it's my planner with my 3-a-day tasks. But whatever works for you, set yourself a good routine, have work days. You want to make sure that you're minimizing your daily choices by doing your 3 per days, but keep your 3 per days flexible. Sometimes you'll need to swap them around. There have been days when I couldn't get all 3 done and I had to move one down to, the following day. And then the following day I had to do 4 things. Just make sure that, that you're writing it down somewhere so that you can keep track of what you're doing at all times. Unplugging. This is the big one for right now because the world is the night is dark and full of terrors.
Oh my God.
Unplug. Turn that crap off. Turn off your negative influences. If it's news, if it's drama, if it's your family on social media,
Yes.
Whatever it is, yes, it is important in the world. I'm going to say this vaguely. It's important in the world to stay updated, but there's a difference between staying up to date and being aware versus making yourself absolutely miserable all the time, because that trickles down to your work. It trickles down to your family.
It really does, especially for you neurodivergent folks who like to hyperfixate on one thing. Like someone was talking about how their whole YouTube feed is mostly just ice stuff. If that's you and you don't want that in your feed, like I said on here, YouTube has probably the most aggressive algorithm changes of any app that I use. If you just go in and actively search for something else,
cute cats,
watch 2 to 4 videos, and it needs to be something specific. Cooking, video games, something that it has to be an aggressively uploaded topic. watch 2 to 4 videos, force close the app, open it back up. 9 times out of 10, your whole feed will just be what you were searching for. You can sanitize your YouTube feed.
You can do that with most apps.
With most apps, yeah. And I believe you can also go in, like with my Facebook. I went in and turned off political posts. I almost never get, unless they're from people, I don't get Facebook politics anymore. Like, you have the ability to do that in most apps.
Yeah, if you want to stay updated on the news, then
sure.
Then in the morning, what Marc does,
you should.
In the morning, Marc checks the news, and then that's it. He checks the news every day, so he's up to date. But then during his normal day-to-day, he's not obsessing over it. So turn that stuff off, even if it's not political. Maybe it's just your super annoying family members that drive you bonkers. Like you do not need to sit and scroll through Facebook. Instead, turn on the things that actually make you productive and put you in a good mood. Positive influences like podcasts. There's so many good podcasts that you could listen to.
Sarcasmic. That is probably my guilty pleasure a lot of times when it comes to just binge watching YouTube. Said finding channels that make ancient foods.
Tasting history.
So tasting history is one, and then Townsend's is my other one. It's like 17 and 1800s early
American
foods, yeah, and European too, but
yeah. So find your positive channels. Hopefully we're one of those. I
really do hope so. We get negative sometimes, but it's for the sake of positivity. We're never just like, screw these people, because we believe in equal rights for everyone and love everyone and freedom and justice for all and all that. The real American dream, you know?
Right. Like find the thing that's going to make you the most productive and turn that on, or turn on audiobooks. You know what? That's all I listen to now. I use the graphic audio app, and all of the audiobooks are dramatized. So it's literally like turning a movie on. I clean the house and I put my headphones on and I tell everybody don't bother me. And it's like listening to a 6-hour movie with voice acting and sound effects. And
Tina said, download the Undistracted Chrome plugin.
Ooh.
It'll get rid of ads, recommended videos, real stories in your feed. It literally gives you back your right to choose online, which saves your mental health and time. Yeah, I love it.
Might have to check that out. I could use that.
They said, YouTube is teaching me how to cook for real. YouTube is the reason why I can cook next to Michelin star quality meals. Never give up on your dreams, because YouTube can teach you how to do anything.
Yeah. I think the only thing he ate on Tasting History that he didn't like was leather. I feel like the Tasting History guy and Marc have the same facial structure. What's his name?
Max.
Max, yeah. You guys both have them like piercing blue eyes and big...
Is that his name? Max?
I think it's Max.
Is it?
Is it Max?
Is it Max Miller?
Max.
Is that him? Or am I thinking of somebody completely different?
I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. I follow a lot of YouTubers. I have like 500 something subscriptions on YouTube.
I'm not going to sing this time because we got demonetized last time I sang the song from
literally just the one line got us an entire video demonetized.
Yeah, that was like $100 that YouTube took away from us because I badly sang the song from Frozen.
I mean, it would be almost $1,000 by now, but
yeah. Anyway, control your controllables. Marc and I say this all the time. There are things that are in your control and there are things that are not in your control. Right now, unfortunately, politics and what's going on in the world, probably not in your control. And if it's affecting your daily life, or even, things that your family are saying, you know what, probably not in your control. Also, don't spend all your time just complaining. Propose solutions. Obviously, when it comes to politics and things, it's hard not to complain because there are really no solutions that you're going to be able to, execute to make the world a better place. But in your small day-to-days, if it's, walking up to your spouse and complaining about you never do this. Instead propose a solution. Hey, the toilet is still leaking, Mr. Moore. The toilet is still leaking.
It is, you're right.
The toilet is still leaking.
Thank God my back's out and I'm sick. I'll get right on that.
On Sunday, when you're feeling better, maybe you should fix the toilet that's leaking. So, not just complaining, propose solutions.
You see
to your
what
problems.
She's doing to me right now?
On public,
She's literally like, hey man, you're sick. Fix the toilet. You freaking idiot.
You weren't sick last month when the toilet was leaking.
Sure I was.
Anyway, remember, everything's figure outable, even the toilet. But really, everything there is a solution to everything. Everything is figure outable. Even if the solution isn't your ideal solution, there is a level of compromise that you can probably reach within your own brain. There is nothing that is impossible to solve. There is always a solution somewhere. You just got to kind of open your mind to the possibilities and expect that sometimes the solution isn't your ideal solution, but if it solves the problem, that's okay. Like me having to wait for Mark to fix the toilet because his back hurts.
If anybody's ever had to fix a toilet before, if you know having to, what's wrong with the toilet is that one of the gaskets, the screws that hold it, the back, the reservoir to the actual toilet is gone. So I have to completely remove the entire reservoir and disassemble the whole toilet to fix this problem. Please tell me I'm not crazy, that I'm not excited to lay on the floor for 4 hours fixing a toilet.
You hear how he does? You hear it? You guys hear it, don't you? You hear your own husbands in him right now, don't you? You do.
I just don't want to do it. Shut up.
And lastly,
I don't want to hear it.
The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I highly recommend everybody read that book. It's such a freaking good analogy. And for me, a lot of it didn't apply to my life because a lot of it was like dealing with your spouse, dealing with your annoying kids. And I have an awesome spouse who, despite the fact that he hasn't fixed the toilet yet, like we get along at all times and we really don't disagree on anything. We are just always, I mean, if there's ever a disagreement in our home, like we solve it. We live together. Why wouldn't you want to solve it? So the Let Them Theory, for those who haven't read it or haven't heard of it, basically it is a way to let go of what other people do and think and not try to control their actions. And I didn't realize I was doing this so much in my life until like I read the book, and then I realized, man, I try to literally control what everybody's doing. I'm like, I am constantly trying to control how other people think and feel about things. So the Let Them Theory is basically when someone is stressing you out because they are doing something, let them. It's not your problem. You can't control what they're doing with their life. Let them. If they're making bad choices, I mean, you can say, hey, maybe that's not a good idea. But if they're going to continue doing it, let them. That's how my whole family is. My family make choices that I don't agree with. I can't control it though, and I'll drive myself crazy trying. So let them. And in response to the let them, what a lot of people don't get when they see the Let Them Theory posted on social media and they haven't actually read the book, they miss the most important part of that, which is let me. Let them do this stupid thing that I don't approve of. Let me is how you're going to handle it on your end, how you're going to respond to it. So if the issue is that your uncle is drunk at, all the family parties and it stresses you out, well, let him. That's his life. Let me choose to not talk to Uncle Gary at the holiday parties. Let me spend less time with Uncle Gary. Let me state a boundary to Uncle Gary that he can do what he wants, but he's not going to be around my kids when he's acting like that, for example. I do not have an Uncle Gary, but I'm sure that there is at least one of you who has a drunk Uncle Gary. Accountability. This is the hardest one. And I feel I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say this nicely. And I know that anytime I say something like this, I have people that are like, they freak out. Accountability is more difficult in older generations. And this is scientifically proven, and I can explain why if you need me to, but it doesn't mean that you specifically who's typing in there and saying like, oh, I'm accountable. It doesn't mean that it applies to you. It doesn't apply to everybody, but I'm sure that everybody knows a group of older fellas, especially fellas, I feel like, a group of older fellas, this is just the way I am. This is just the way I am. Like, I was raised this way. I was born this way. Accountability is something that I feel we have to learn it. And most of the time, you don't really learn it when you're younger. I think that you mimic it when you're younger because you're taught to be accountable, but you're just trying to be accountable to not like make your parents mad or to not get in trouble. I think that accountability is something that you either learn from a young age because you genuinely have the empathy to say, oh, I need to fix my actions, or I need to break my generational trauma that has, affected or plagued everybody in my family. Accountability means being able to honestly look at your mistakes and find ways to fix them. And there are some people in this world who are absolutely not able or willing to do this. And we all know someone like this. Again, then that's where the let them theory, like let them. If they can't be accountable for their mistakes, let them.
For real.
But when it comes to you in your life, and it's not something that you need to share with the world. You can just reflect on it. Reflection was one of the past slides. Reflect on the things that, oh man, I did not get anything done this week, or man, I was kind of mean to my kid this week. I've been mean to my kid. All moms have a bad mom day where you're mean to your kid because the world feels like it's melting and you're just taking it out on everybody. So, especially when it comes to building your schedule, you're doing your 3 tasks a day, whatever it might be, even if it's like going on a diet and eating better, you will fall off. You will fall off your schedule. You will fall off your diet. You will mess up. It's human. But what matters is the ability to hit the reset button. So for us, this is mainly like when it comes to our diet. Our reset button is Monday morning, because the time when we're most likely to fall off our diet, we've been on a diet now for a month,
3 weeks. Yeah.
Monday morning is our reset. We're most likely to slip up on the weekends. We usually allow ourselves to slip a little bit. We have like our one like naughty meal on the weekend, but sometimes one naughty meal comes with a glass of wine, and it turns into 2 glasses of wine, and then the wine turns into I want some potato chips, and I don't know what it is, but I like Lay's pickle flavored potato chips when I'm drinking wine. I don't know why. I just need pickle chips. But Monday morning, no matter what, we have a baseline. We can always reset to the baseline. So figure out what your baseline is, what you're going to return to, and then no matter what, if you slip, you can always resume and hit your reset button. For us, our trigger is Monday morning. For a lot of people, the reset is, January 1st serves as a big reset. That's our annual, like, major reset. And then every Monday, we try to maintain the momentum.
Remember, with any habit, and this applies across the board, but for smoking, example, cold turkey is the only way to go. There is no... Scientifically, there is no weaning a habit. You're either going to do it, or you're not going to do it. And weaning in anything, only has like a 15%-ish success rate in most things. Whereas just jumping full bore into something, neurodiversity be damned here. Jumping full bore into something has like an 85% success rate, as long as you're consistent with it. Anyway.
I read that as peach pickles, and it made me think a moment. Did you guys know I'm deathly allergic to peaches? That's unfortunate, because I love peaches.
Out of literally nowhere.
Yep.
Was one of our favorite fruits, and then one time she ate a peach, and now she's allergic to them forever.
Yep. Awful. Terrible.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Here's another one that I think that this is one that nobody talks about. Don't punish yourself. This is not a way to learn. Punishing yourself is not a way to learn. So I learned this actually when Marc and I were bodybuilding. For those who are newer to our channel, Marc was on a bodybuilding team. I had a bodybuilding coach. I wanted to do competitive physique. We were ripped, dude. Like, we were ripped. We were eating... How many eggs were we eating a week?
I was buying 2 of the triple flats. The 1, 2, 3
from
layers.
Winco.
And those were 24, 48, 60, 72 eggs.
72 eggs. And we ate those in a week, right?
I ate double that. So,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it's mostly because I was using egg whites for everything, because my meals would be like, have 3 eggs and 15 egg whites. And it's like,
Right.
okay.
Anyway, yeah, it was insane.
It was cheaper to buy eggs and do it yourself.
But during this period of time, you know, every once in a while, you slipped. And this is where I learned, like, you know, have a baseline to return to. But you would slip. And when you are eating to that level of clean, and this isn't normal diet clean. This is like you are trying to prep your body to be in its very, very best shape because you are planning to compete on a stage. You do not care about flavor. Every once in a while, you taste something with a little bit of flavor, and the animal inside you unleashes, and then you just devour an insane amount of that thing because, like, it's probably the same as like somebody, you know, relapsing on a drug. Like the second that like you come into contact with it and you say, oh, just a little bit, no, you're gonna lose it.
Yep.
And when that would happen, because if you're, you know, hardcore dieting, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen someday, especially when you're raising a child. Taylor would, you know, want to bake cookies, or, oh, she's eating some Reese's Puffs for breakfast. And I taste, you know, one of them, and then I'm shoveling handfuls in my mouth. I would punish myself the following day. I would say, like, you know, oh, I did bad, so I am going to starve myself today. I am not going to use, or more commonly, you know, I would deprive myself of the sauces that made my food taste good. I would be like, no sugar-free ketchup for you today, Starla. You don't deserve those 11 calories worth of ketchup. Don't punish yourself. And no matter what it is, I know that the dieting is a very specific scenario, and I do see people who will starve themselves after having like a binge meal.
Well, that's the thing. Dieting isn't efficient. Don't diet. Change your lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was saying in here, for most people, it's like stop. Yeah, like she said, stop eating cheese. Stop drinking sugar. Switch to sugar-free pop, or quit drinking pop entirely because it messes with your insulin and all these other problems.
Right.
For most people, it's just changing your lifestyle. Change what you do. Enjoy things that are less sweet, less flavorful, and then they become more flavorful over time. We're so used to having things like, oh yeah, I love pasta. I make hamburger helper once a week. And then it's like you go and you eat real Italian food and you're like, oh, this tastes gross. It tastes like vegetables. And you're like, of course it does, because it's supposed to taste like vegetables.
Yeah.
You've been programmed to like the garbage. And it's like that in everything. In the content you consume, and the food you consume, and the lifestyle you consume. You're being fed the easy way and the garbage way. And anyway.
We one of the biggest things that we did for ourselves, I was one of those Diet Coke people, like, and I remember I would go out because when Mark quit pop before I did, oh, we're from Ohio, we say pop, by the way. Mark quit pop before I did, and he would stop buying it, you know, and I didn't want to buy it and bring it into the house because if I did, we would drink it. But I would go out shopping by myself, and I would get myself a little pop. I would get myself a little Diet Coke from the checkout line. And, you know, none of that is like good, especially when you've mutually agreed as a couple that you're going to stop doing something.
Right.
But I switched over to seltzers. This one's Waterloo. And I know that most of you taste seltzer and you're like, yuck. It tastes like, you know, a fart of blueberry in some club soda.
It's good.
You get used to it. You get used to it. And when you say like, okay, this is, you know, I need something bubbly, but this is for my health. You do get used to it. But anyway,
it's not even just that you get used to it. It's just, you're so programmed to enjoy things that are so insanely sweet. Those of you in Europe probably don't get this quite as much, but you're so programmed, especially in America, to like things that are so sweet. Then you taste something like this and you're like, it's not even sweet. It's just bitter. But then you quit sugar and artificial sweeteners for a while, and then you drink something like this, and you're like, oh, wow, these are actually, like, really sweet. This is like Kool-Aid. And then things like pop and Kool-Aid and juice, they become so sweet that you can't handle drinking them anymore. They're sweeter than you even want a dessert to be, which is insane to me.
So anyway, the main
Anyway, continuing
point, the
on.
main point here is to, like, don't punish yourself.
Yeah,
Whatever your punishment. Oh, I only worked 3 hours yesterday, so I'm gonna work, 8 hours straight today and not take any breaks. Don't do that to yourself. It's not how the brain learns, and you're just going to end up burning yourself out. So just find your baseline, whatever that is for work, for your lifestyle, and just hit your reset button. If it's that every Monday you wake up at a specific time and that's when you get to work and you have your coffee and then you hop on your laptop and get to work, let that be the baseline that you return to.
For like a design said, tea beats coffee. Tea beats coffee if you've never had good coffee.
Yeah, we do drink tea at night. Tea's our nighttime drink. Coffee's our daytime drink. All right, and then communicate. This is so important. Oh my God, you need to communicate with your family. You need to communicate with your kids. You need to communicate with anybody in your household. You need to communicate your work hours. So these are the times when I'm going to be working every single day. Please respect my work hours and do not make plans for me during these hours. You need to communicate when you need help. It is okay to say, hey, I have to do all of this stuff for my business this week, and it would be really helpful if on Tuesday you could do the dishes for me. Be specific. Be okay with, telling your family, I love you guys, but I need a quiet moment. Like, I love you guys. I just need... I need to go in the bedroom and not talk to anybody for a little while. I'm not mad at anybody. No, nothing's wrong. I just need a quiet moment. I need to step away from the chaos, especially for moms. Oh my God, you guys need to step away before you strangle them kids. And something that I learned, I don't know, I was probably about 24, 25 when I started using this line with Marc. Men are problem solvers. Like if you pose a problem, men want to solve it. And with women, especially, women usually we just want to vent. Like we don't want to solve things. We just need someone to hear us out for a while so that we can get the weight off of our chest. And sometimes when you do that with your spouse, they get frustrated because they're trying to give you solutions and you want to figure it out yourself. You don't need their solutions, or maybe their solutions are just, they don't make sense for your problem. It is okay when you need to vent to tell your partner, I am not solution seeking. I just need to vent. I just need to voice my problems. I don't need you to try to solve them for me. I just need to say what's on my mind so that I can, have the room in my brain to figure it out on my own. And this one's been a powerful one just because I feel like there are so many couples that, the female especially will come in and say, like, I'm having all these problems. And then the spouse will think like, oh, this is an attack on me. She's stressed because the house is messy. This must mean that she wants me to clean the house, and she's trying to hint that she needs me to clean the house. And why doesn't she just say that? And then it turns into a back and forth thing where they feel attacked and you feel like you're not being seen. Maybe all you really needed to do was just vent that you're frustrated that the house is messy, but you fully intend to clean it the next day. And community. Surround yourself with positive people at all times. Find your people, the people that you know will help support you on your journey, that will help you to resume your baseline. Hopefully people that are on the same path that you're on right now. That's why we do these Friday Beans, by the way. We want to create an environment of like-minded individuals who are all on the same path, because sometimes you just need to hang out with people that understand. And being a business owner is lonely. It is so lonely to be a business owner and not know, like, how to connect with family members who literally have no concept of what you do in your day-to-day life. And also listen to only the people who are already where you want to be, or above where you want to be. If Uncle Jerry keeps trying to tell you how to run your business and Uncle Jerry's never had a business, then maybe you don't listen to Uncle Jerry. you can just ignore him. You can nod your head and say, thanks, Uncle Jerry. I'd never thought of it that way. But you don't have to take Uncle Jerry's advice. Only listen to the influences and the people that are already where you want to be, because they have figured out, a positive way to do it. That way you can feel a little bit competitive. We're naturally competitive. And sometimes seeing people who are doing what you want to do, it kicks you in the butt and it makes you want to follow the herd and do it too. All right, so let's jump to the more extremes. Those are kind of the ways to keep the stress from hitting. But eventually, everybody feels it. Everybody has it just boil over. For women, it might just be during a certain special time of the month when we're already not feeling our best and things creep up and we just got to deal with it. Or maybe you've got a day job and, things in your day job are already so stressful, and then you come home and you got to deal with your business too, and then it just pushes you over the edge. It happens to everybody. So, first of all, this one's kind of from the beginning, but we also need to communicate when we hit rock bottom. So talking about the things that trigger you. For me, my triggers are items on my surfaces. Mm-hmm. Marc knows that every night before we go to bed, items go off of the surfaces. The coffee table needs to be clean. I want to wake up to no items on my coffee table or my kitchen counter. My stress is directly associated with how many stupid items are on the coffee table and the kitchen counter. This morning, I woke up. Marc's screwdrivers are currently on the coffee table.
And why is that? Because I have something coming in the mail today that requires the use of the screwdrivers, and getting them back out is extra work that's unnecessary.
See, this is the battle with the ADHD brain. His brain is, I will need this at some point soon, so it needs to stay out. My brain is, you don't need this until later. It needs to be put where it goes until you need it. It's a constant battle. But regardless, find your triggers, communicate them so at least your partner knows. He knows that I'm mad about the screwdrivers, but I can deal with them for a couple hours as long as they get put away tonight. Have an action plan for your entire family when it comes to your stress. So, it can be as simple as, hey, when I'm having like my severe anxiety, I just want to put on my headphones and dad can deal with the kids for the day, or just even for a couple hours. I just need to go into my own little world and, maybe I need to go take a bath and close the door and lock it and nobody can bother me. Maybe I need to put on my headphones and disassociate for a little while. This is my action plan for when I boil over. This is what you should expect my requests to be if things get bad in my brain. And I do this a lot with my audiobooks, especially if I'm rage cleaning, which I do a lot. Like if I get sick or if I have a busy week and the house just gets away from me on the weekends, I tell Taylor, our daughter, and I tell Marc, don't bother me. Don't interrupt me. Do not make me take my headphones off unless it's an emergency. And I tell Taylor, if you need something, go get your dad. Don't interrupt me. And it's gotten to the point now where Taylor, she also has her headphones on most of the day. And we have communication. We do not know sign language, but we find ways to communicate with our hands and pointing at things so that neither of us have to take our headphones off to communicate, and we can figure it out. So anyway, staying calm when things get bad. And I know that obviously the worst thing that you can do when you're exploding is to have someone say, calm down. Stay calm, but find what brings you to your baseline. Find the thing that's going to calm you. For me, I will step away if it's like work related and I get really frustrated. I'll step away and I will make myself like a cup of tea, or we drink gamer sups, which are nootropics, which really help kick my brain into gear if I need to do work and my brain is just not working for me.
Which again is another one of those science things that's still like
up for debate,
but makes me feel good.
So they make me feel great.
If it's placebo, then it's a good placebo.
Right. And this one is big on the communication with those in your household, your spouse. Avoid things like, you never blank. Or why can't you just blank? You haven't done blank. These are all going to come off as attacks, and they're only going to elevate situations, and they are not going to result in the solution that you're seeking. And this kind of goes with that. Never assume that others see what you do. You never pick up your dirty clothes. You never do that. Instead of that, say, hey, I'm a little overwhelmed this week with the laundry. There's a lot of dirty clothes on the floor right now. Admittedly, I haven't picked them up either. But it would be really helpful if on Tuesday at lunchtime, you could do the laundry. And the reason that I say these specifics and that I'm pointing this out in particular is that, especially in neurodivergent households, you might be on completely different wavelengths. So for our household, Taylor is about to turn 14, and Taylor has ADHD. And Taylor's brain works like this. If Taylor goes into the bathroom to get ready for bed, and Taylor takes off her clothes in the bathroom and puts on her pajamas in the bathroom, which that's for some reason what she does, and she leaves her dirty clothes on the bathroom floor, suddenly, because there were already clothes on the bathroom floor, that means that the next day she has no problem, when she gets home from school, the socks get added to the pile. And then more dirty clothes get added to the pile. Because if there's like one item out of place, it almost makes it okay now for the rest of let's just stop keeping the bathroom clean. If there's one item on my surfaces, like on my coffee table, more items will start to pile up because suddenly it's like, this is a place for items. Cool. I have items to place here. And you start just compounding the items. So never assume that others see things the way that you do. I saw a TikTok or a Instagram reel where it was like, the husband said he would help clean the house. And he said, what do you need me to do? And the woman is just like, look around. What do you mean? What do you need to do? Look, don't you see all the things that need done? No, a lot of times they don't, because they don't see things the way that you do. Don't be afraid to make a list of exactly what you need done. With Mark, if I need him to help me with something, he gets a list. I need you to do this, this, and this today. And then it gets done. And this goes for asking for help. So you want to do this before the pot boils over. Don't wait until you are ripping your hair out and having an anxiety attack. Because then you start rage cleaning and they start rage cleaning. Ask for help before things get bad. Let them know, like, I am this close to my limit. I'm not there yet, but I am so close to, and we both do this one. We will say, I am close to my limit. I am at my limit. One more thing is going to push me over the edge. Like, I need help. And we'll help each other however we need. And sometimes it's not like cleaning the house. Sometimes when he's close to his limit, because his like love language is touch. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he just needs his back touched. And that's crazy, that it seems like such a little thing, but
it's grounding.
Sometimes he needs to sit on the couch and I will just
It's grounding.
We sit quietly and I will just touch his back,
For sure.
And again, to go with the last one with asking for help, have a list. Even if you feel like it's obvious, you're like, look around. Can't you see this mess? No, often they can't. Their brain works completely different than yours. Everybody's brains work different, especially if you have a neurodivergent household. Have a list. If you feel like it's obvious, that's okay. It might not be to them. Now, this is the hardest one, which is keep moving, even if it's little actions. Find the things that you can do. When you hit rock bottom, maybe you can't do the big things. Maybe you can't list all of the products that you wanted to list on Etsy. Maybe you have to reschedule the photo shoot that you planned with your products. But maybe there is something that you can do. Pick the can-dos, even if they're smaller. So maybe I I can't work today. My brain is way too unhealthy. I'm not going to be able to accomplish what I wanted to, but I can take a shower. Like, that's something that I can do. I can't do all of the laundry today. I just don't have the mental energy for it. But I can pick this towel up off the floor and put it in the hamper, or take it, and at least put it in the washing machine. These little actions tend to compound. And even if they don't, at least you did something. Do whatever it is that keeps you moving. Find what you can do. And honestly, there will be days when you can't do nothing. I'd say once every other month for me, now that I've been on anxiety medication, once every other month, I will have a day where I cannot do anything. I cannot read a book. I cannot watch anything on TV. I will just sit and not do anything, or I will just sit and veg out, and I will scroll through Instagram, and I will, spend a bunch of time watching things that I wouldn't normally watch because my brain can't take anymore. And that's okay. Sometimes you need to do that. But then the following day, reset to your baseline. This is where having that reset button and understanding what your reset point is. Staying organized. Keep your space clean. Even if you're one of those individuals who doesn't think that they care about having a clean space, you do. Your brain will function better if your space is free of clutter and things that are, taking up desk room, taking up workspace room. Every time you've got to move something around just to be able to complete a task, every time you have to throw away a bunch of trash just to make room to sit at your desk, whatever it might be, all of those little actions are preventing you from doing the thing that you need to do. So have a day when you do it. Clean your desk every Sunday. Clean your desk every Monday morning before you start working. Schedule things ahead of time. Make sure that everything that you plan to do in a day is on the schedule. For me, I love my Legend Planner. We also have a great app called Cozy that we use. So you sign up as a family. We can put in our groceries so that we can both see our grocery list. We have all of our tasks. We get notifications. So, no matter what, Mark and I are on the same schedule at all times. We know what groceries we need. We can always double check our Cozy for doctor's appointments. Everything is already planned for us. So just staying organized, again, it releases some of that brain tension. Our brains only have so much processing power in a day. So think of these tools like little extensions of your brain. They're like little flash drives that you can use to store things that otherwise would take up space in your head, like remembering when, your kids' soccer practices every week. If you have triggers, which I think that everybody does, but I think that some people just don't classify them as triggers, or they don't understand why they're suddenly angry for no reason. Usually there is. So figure out what your triggers are. Make note of them. You can have a list of them. Share them with your family. My triggers are clutter on my surfaces. I freak out. I had a traumatic experience that had to do with uncleanliness. Tina knows what it is. I had a traumatic experience that had to do with severe uncleanliness. And now if I see something that is filthy, it sends me into a panic. And Mark knows this. So we clearly voice the things that stress us out. And if I start to feel that it's creeping up on me, sometimes I scroll through Facebook and I see a video that, kind of relates to that dirt, that filth trigger. And I'll tell them, I'll say, like, I saw a video like this, or I had a nightmare, that reminds me of this traumatic thing. And now I can feel it creeping. Then we can, talk it out, and he can help me through it. So I don't know how many of you who have read my first book. By the way, I'm working on the second one. I know it's been like 4 years, but I'm actively right now working on the second one. In my first book, I actually personify anxiety as a creature, because this is how I've always seen anxiety. It's a monster that comes to visit you, and sometimes you can't prevent it. Sometimes it's going to catch up with you. You can put these little actions into practice, and you can kind of stay a pace ahead of it. But every once in a while, it's going to catch up. And it's not trying to destroy you or eat you or hurt you. It's just a visitor, and it just happens to also be a monster. And that's okay. And when that monster catches you, sometimes you just have to respect your monster until it passes. When you assign a persona or an image to that anxiety, it makes it so much easier to deal with, because then you realize that it's not anything that's wrong with you. It's not anything that's wrong with your family. It's not that people are trying to upset you. It is just a monster that is currently breathing down your neck, making you a little bit uncomfortable. He's not going to do anything else. He's just going to breathe down your neck, and then he'll go away. And the more you respect him and give him his space and say, you know what? Okay, the monster is here. Today, I am going to sit on the couch with a cup of hot tea and read a book. I'm not going to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish today. My monster is visiting me today. It'll allow you to respect your own anxiety and triggers so that when they creep up on you and there's no escape, you can do what you need to return to your baseline by respecting, your body and your brain. Because really, the monster is chemicals. It is, your brain is going into fight or flight. And for some reason, your brain thinks that there is something that is trying to attack you. And it's silly, because no items on my surfaces are not I am not under fire. There is no threat to my body because there are items on my surfaces, but my brain is perceiving it that way because that's just what our brains are wired to do. We're still wired for primitive functions. And this thing is triggering to me, and it's putting me in fight or flight mode. Sometimes you just have to remember that that thing isn't real. It's chemicals that your brain is being flooded with at a inconvenient time, and you just got to wait until those chemicals go away and you return to your baseline. And my favorite, gamifying your dopamine. We talked about this during the Alpha Holiday Boot Camp. I created a Facebook group for us, and nobody ever used it. Maybe we need to go back to it, or maybe we need to switch over to Discord. I don't know. But gamifying your dopamine system. This means giving yourself things that make you want to complete tasks. So my favorite's the Finch app. I love Finch. So many of you are already, my Finch friends. Miranda, you're on my Finch list. Tina, I think you're on my Finch list too. Basically, Finch is like a little pet. And you can put all your chores and tasks and things that you want to do into your Finch app. And then when you complete those tasks, you check them off and you get little gems, little money, and you can buy things for your little bird and decorate his little house and get him cute little outfits. And it's like having a little virtual pet that you take care of, but it's also a checklist to keep you organized. I have been using the Finch app now since the October before last, and I have not missed a single day. I'm on almost, that'll be almost 500 day streak.
I'm at 458, 460 something, so you're getting close.
Yeah. So the Finch app, that's my favorite, but there's also Focus Friend. Focus Friend basically disables your ability to use your phone by giving you this cute little bean who crochets or knits. I think he knits. And every time you pick up your phone while he's knitting, you interrupt him and he drops what he's knitting. And you don't want to interrupt him. You want him to finish what he's knitting.
I have not been using him as much, but
Me neither.
I need to.
I haven't been using it. I like Finch more.
Because he's not on my main screen and I have ADHD.
So basically, if you need to work, you can turn on Focus Friend, your little bean will start knitting, he'll knit scarves and socks, and then you can sell what he knits to decorate his little house. So I like them both, but Finch is definitely my favorite. I feel like there's just more with Finch. I really like that you can write reflections and things like that. For me, Finch has been better for my mental health. Oh, and I guess that is all I had on here. We are friend on Finch. Burbs. My burb, his name is Potate. Little Potate. Actually, I say his name, but I dress him. I dress him in whatever. My little gender neutral finch, because I like all the outfits. Sometimes he's in a little dress and sometimes he's in his normal outfits. All right, I think that's it though. So
What up, geez? We've just been talking about food.
have you really?
Yeah, we've been talking about
Jeez.
stuff food pretty much the whole time. Right now we're talking about olive oil and the scam that is avocado oil.
Can you turn off the thing on Finch where it asks you to report on how you feel every day? That's not a primary prompt anymore. It used to make you put it in. I mean, it was really just how are you feeling, and you click a button and then it goes straight to Finch. Like you could have. It's not like it was a major reflection point, but now it is. It's still there. It's still there, but it's up in this corner up here. So, Potate is back from his adventure. I'll chat with him later. I have the Friday Bean in here, though. Do the Friday Bean, record my YouTube, go to the grocery store. That's all on my task list for the day.
We got about 15 minutes if y'all have some questions.
Man, I talk that long.
Yeah, you never shut up.
I know. You can't make me shut up. I will never. Did you guys see? Did you guys see him? Look.
There's your Mr. Man right there.
Look at him. Him take a nap. him do a big sleepy boy. I might rejoin then. A lot of my Finch friends I've stopped sending you all good vibes because you never get on your Finch apps.
I give you 2 weeks, and then if you don't show up in my Finch feed, is that doing anything? I get rid of you.
I move you back. I have a Finch graveyard of baby finches that never.
Yeah, I move them to the back page, and then I check to see, and if it's been more than 2 weeks, I boot them.
All right. So for those who joined late, I'll go ahead and do our little end spiel real quick, and then you guys can keep getting questions in if you have any. But consider checking out the Patreon. It's linked down below in the video description. It's a great way to support the channel if you enjoy what we do here, that we're here every single Friday for an hour and a half. If you enjoy that there are no paid, advertisements in there's obviously YouTube ads, but if you enjoy that we aren't pushing things on you or trying to sell you things that we've never used, it's because we've got a group of supporters on Patreon who pay us a little bit each month, and it allows us to continue doing what we do and expand our channel, which is why our channel always sounds so good and looks so good and our camera's so good, and we're about to have to upgrade this camera. So yeah, consider checking that out. You get tons of goodies. There are 3 different price tiers, and what you get with each is dependent on which tier you opt in for, but they're all relatively affordable. Obviously, most people opt for Trend Tracker, which gets you my monthly trend report. And I tell you what, this January's trend report is juicy. It is 50 trends that have more searches last month, like trends that just have popped up out of nowhere, more searches last month than what they have competitors. So these trends like that are really hard to find. I was able to find 50 of them, and I think only one of them has more competitors than what they have searches, but it's like really close, so still very achievable. Michelle built us a fantastic reflection and reset workbook to help you game up for the new year. Last month, we did a really cool ultimate Etsy listing audit checklist, which you can still get all of last month's incentives as well. We're about to do January shop roulette, where $25 alphas will all be entered to have a full critique done. You get Canva templates every month on the $15 a month tier. So lots of good stuff. Consider checking it out. You can compare the plans and pricing from our page. But you can also grab our 2026 Etsy marketing calendars down below. Those are completely free. I release these every single year, and they help you to plan out your product lines. When should you start listing Christmas items? When should you start listing Halloween items? This will give you a solid foundation to help you plan out your entire year, and every single month you get little tips from me. So this is just a PDF. You can download it, print it out, put it on your desk, whatever you want to do. And lastly, the Alpha Discord is now open. The link to that should be down below.
Should be.
I think it is. The Alpha Discord is a good way to unplug if you're sick of social media, if you don't use social media and you want a way to communicate with others in a in an environment that's kind of like an old school chat room, consider joining the Discord. Basically you join and you just can chat in these little chat rooms. You click on one of the ones that you want to talk within, and then there's just a feed of people talking in that little area. So does anybody, and if anybody gets in here and they don't see all of these chats, what's the name of the channel that they have to go to
It's like welcome or something like that. It's
welcome?
The first thing it takes you to.
Okay, yeah, go to the welcome channel, and you should
rules.
Go to the rules channel and read the rules, and then you click the little wolf emoji in the rules, and it'll let you in.
React to Carlbot. There are 2 messages telling you what to do in there.
Okay, perfect.
We have no questions.
We have no questions.
We did have one at the very beginning of the stream where someone had asked, what do I do if I want to sell on my own website, but I don't want to do social media? That's like asking, I want to buy a car, but I never want to put gas in it. You can have the car, but you're going to have to push it yourself. At that point, you're going to have to hope that you have an in-demand product that people are searching for, and that you're so good at SEO that you don't really have to worry about using social media. Quit stealing all the gumps.
I'm sorry.
She's stealing my gumps.
I'm sorry.
But realistically, if you want to sell on your own website, you should be doing social media of some kind.
Yeah.
You don't have to do Facebook. It's fine. Facebook isn't really the hot place to sell stuff anyway. But you got to do something. You can't just, I want to sell stuff, but I don't want to advertise. Where else are you going to advertise?
Yeah, I mean, the
business is advertising.
It doesn't mean that you as a person need to have a Facebook or social media.
But your business does, for sure.
Right. It's hard because, for every brilliant idea that you have to start a business, there's already somebody doing it, and they're probably better at it than you. And social media is the way that you can connect in a unique way. Guys, Instagram is turning into such a wild place to advertise. We looked at NASCAR's Instagram, like the official NASCAR Instagram, and it's getting weird, like the Nutter Butter Instagram. Like, I feel like you kind of have to get on some form of social media anymore, or have the greatest SEO ever, which you likely would need to pay someone to do for you to that extent, or you need to be paying for some other type of advertising like Google ads, for example. I wish it wasn't like that, but unfortunately, you have to be able to reach people. And you're either going to reach them on social media or you're going to reach them organically, and that's going to come with a cost. That's why I like Etsy, because Etsy, there's already people on Etsy shopping. You know what I mean? Like, Etsy is the place to go where you might have a chance if you don't use social media. But your own website, I mean, you're off in a cornfield. If you're not directing people to your storefront that's hidden in the cornfield, nobody's going to even know you're out there.
So I feel weird trying to market right now while the world is burning. The world is not burning. It's a couple of douchebags who want you to feel like it is, because they want to feel like they're winning. In reality, the world isn't that bad of a place. There's just a few bad people doing a few bad things. And the best thing that you can do is to to be like that is to let them win. What you should do is not only carry on as usual, but use your platform to be a place of good. You don't have to attack anybody. You don't have to be political. But you can use your platform as a business to spread love and to spread awareness and to be a good person and continue business and show these absolute chode muffins that they're not gonna rule you like that.
Sell your happy little things. Your customers are probably feeling the same way that you are.
Yep.
Sell your happy little things.
Yeah.
Your customers are buying from you because they also need an escape, and they need a little dopamine rush. They need to spend a little bit of money to feel good, so that, they get their little treat in the mail.
For sure. Like she said, keep shining your light.
Yeah.
Keep being you, man. And that's the thing, this whole and I'm not saying this to you, this whole touch grass mentality that a lot of people have. Anytime you're feeling like that, step outside, or when it's warmer, go somewhere that like fills you with warmth and just see that like it still fills you with warmth. It's still feels good. The world is still a good place. There's some bad people doing bad things, but when isn't there bad people doing bad things? If you let your it feels worse now than it ever has because they've spent the most amount of money to make sure that you feel that way. Because the more you feel that way, the more you react and the more money they make. Quit reacting to it.
Exactly.
If you really feel like the world is burning, pick up your picket sign, write your statements on it, go to a protest, vote, call your representatives, do whatever you got to do, but don't let it rule your life. Don't let it be the only thing that you can think of. It's not worth it. Your business is still we still have people message us saying that their business is booming, that the world is still turning, things are still great. The world's going to keep turning regardless of how you feel about it, and all you're doing is letting their negativity rule your life.
Yeah, our on a personal note, with everything going on in the world today, I actually made a Facebook post about it yesterday on my personal. So those who are, I don't add people very often, so don't rush to like add my personal, because I do post like family pictures and things on there. There's a couple of you who I've known forever who are on there though. But I posted about our daughter. She sees what's going on and she's very stressed. She's 14 and her friends are talking about it and she's very stressed, and she would like to attend protests, and obviously she's 14. Like,
no, that's not gonna happen.
No, it's not safe. And I told her that. I said, right now it's not safe. However, art is your greatest form of protest, and she took that literally. She has been creating her own art for, and she's got a DeviantArt account. And
it's restricted from the adult stuff.
I snoop it though. I just take a little snoop. I make sure that everything's going chill. I've had a DeviantArt since I was her age, actually. So I'll take a little peek at it. And even one of the posts, like one of the pieces that she did, the title of the piece was "Art is my protest." So even the kids, like, they're finding their way, find what it is that makes you happy and fills you up inside, and try to spread more of that.
I disagree. Somebody said these protests are riots. I haven't seen a single riot.
No.
I haven't seen a single one.
No.
Not a one. It's all been mostly peaceful. It's getting a little spicier now that people are showing up expressing some other rights, but everything's been peaceful. We're not going to get into all the politics. Obviously, the world is all politics, and escape that for a little bit. Remember, for the next week, it's going to be 5 degrees in most of the eastern United States. You ain't going to be out there doing nothing about it right now. So spend the next week just chilling. Ignore the news. Turn it off. Nothing's happening. The economy's probably not going to collapse. Everybody's talking about how the Europeans are going to pull. That's not going to happen. The whole world relies on us for their economies. So if they collapsed our economies, their economies would collapse too, and the whole world would be back to stage one. So I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway.
Yeah.
Focus on selling. Focus on improving yourself, your family, your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, politics suck, and they're making them suck worse. If you have a problem with politics, like I said, go protest and vote. That's all you can do. Let's focus on the love. The biggest protest that you can have is to love yourself and your neighbor regardless of how people tell you to not. They want you to hate everybody that isn't you. Now, of course, my mouse is just going to stop working.
Anyway.
So the best thing that you can do is love everyone regardless.
Who wants to talk about pasta again?
Dude, I do. There was a question. I'm trying to get to it. Do you have any advice for feeling unproductive while doing administrative work? My brain says I'm only being productive when I'm actively making my art for my business.
Write it down. Write down everything that you do. Keep in mind that when it comes to running a business, only a very small percentage of your time will be spent on actually making the products. Most of your time will be spent doing other things like marketing and SEO and writing your descriptions and branding and taking care of your social medias. And I wish that it wasn't like that. I wish that we could all just like make money by making our things. But unfortunately, you got to wear all the hats when you are a business owner. So write it down. Write down every time you accomplish something, every time you do something, write it down. That way you can look at all the things that you did. And remember that those things are just as important, if not more important, than making the thing. Like, yes, obviously making the thing is essential, but everybody can make a thing. I make things all the time that I don't sell. The thing that actually turns you into a business is the administrative stuff. Otherwise, it's just hobby stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, Ever's Art Shop. I just got the biggest orders of my life, guys. People are still spending
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Everything's going to be okay. Yeah, remember, through all the bad stuff, someone had said, we need to look to our ancestors. As a black woman, my grandparents survived a lot worse. We can forget what our relatives went through and keep pushing World War II. Remember, we're artists. Art is the only thing that survives, regardless of where we are and what we do. Your art will persist. Your opinions will disappear. Make your art. Live your life. Sell your stuff. If you get 2 sales this month, cool. You made 2 more sales than not making any sales at all. It's an ebb and a flow. The world is going to continue going, and you can control your controllables. You're not always going to make the money that you want to make. It's the same with us. You know, the HAA launch that we just had, it wasn't our smallest, but it was pretty far down there. And that's reflective of how the economy is. But we're still here. We're still kicking. We're still moving. We're still making money. We're still doing our thing. We're doing our YouTube channel. We're making Etsy shops. We're learning how to do stuff on our own websites. We're doing... Just keep moving.
What do you think of print on demand? I do print on demand.
Yes. I enjoy it. I just prefer, personal opinion, when people do print on demand, you're using it as an avenue to distribute your art in a way that you would be incapable of distributing your art without it. Don't use it as a crux to start a business. And what I mean by that is, don't just go and buy designs, slap them on a shirt and sell them.
Which you can't do anyway.
It's against their rules. They're just not. They're never going to be able to forcefully enforce it because they can't trace everything, right? But so yeah. Use it as a way to distribute your art in ways you otherwise would be incapable of doing. That's what POD is intended for. So, I make really cool digital designs, but I don't have a shop where I can print shirts. I don't have the ability to print prints because I've not made enough money. Cool. I have this POD company that's going to allow me to sell my art without having to spend $50,000 opening up a shop. You can still do your art that way. Just don't be lazy about it.
Yeah, Tina does amazing art, and it's her art. But without POD, Tina can't print all of her art at home.
Right, like who's going to take the time to hire 15 employees and open up a separate workshop and have to buy a building and take out loans and go into debt for the next 10 years and to hopefully someday making a profit when there are corporations that will ensure that literally never happens. So use POD as an ability to make money without spending excessive amounts of money. There's always going to be money to be spent when it comes to running a business, but the more you can bring that cost down while keeping quality up, that's the intention of POD. Now, not all POD is going to be high quality. That's why we used to do our hauls, which we should do. We should do another. It's been a while since we've done a haul.
Or I just had someone ask me to do one, and I told her that our last haul cost us about $500 out of pocket to do. Printify doesn't.
That's not free. We pay for that.
They don't give me. I mean, I do. They give me Printify Premium included. For helping them. But I still have to buy all the stuff that I review. We are gonna be, because our Etsy shop right now is on break because Michelle is recovering from her radiation, and we also lost our main author, our licensing for Sarah Maas. So we are building out a list of new authors we want to reach out to, and basically most of our products were Sarah Maas. So we have to kind of do some new construction. But when we develop more products for 2026, then that might be a good opportunity, because I buy everything that I sell anyway so that I can photograph it myself, not do mock-ups. So maybe we'll do it then.
Tina had said, go to a museum and reconnect with real human art. I'll do you another one. Go to a concert. And I don't mean go spend $400 to hear a famous person you've been listening to on the radio for the last 30 years. I mean, find a local venue. There are, I promise, tons of them near you that only plays local small bands and nerds you've never heard of. Go have a couple of beers and listen to an artist you've never heard. Do support local art in every way, shape, or form. I think that's something as a society we need to bring back into doing. People, still like, even our generation is guilty of this. People still listening to like, oh man, Bullet for My Valentine's coming through, and I'm like, you mean the band that got famous in like 1998 and was famous for like 10 years, and you're still who you're going to see and support? Like, cool. But like, what about this really cool indie band that's put like 20 grand into their band and can't get on tour? Go listen to these local artists. Go to your local art expos. We just went to the Oddities Expo. Go do stuff that supports local artists. Don't be afraid to go out like outside of your shell. Go see something weird, dude. Go to that coffee shop with that weird back of the head beanie indie rock guy that just sings about being sad all the time. I bet he's got a song you'll like, or she. Anyway.
Nobody's ever heard of any of the bands I like.
I mean, that's weirdly enough, that's kind of the same with everything I listen to anymore.
Nobody. I've got a tattoo for a band that nobody's heard of.
Like my favorite artist right now is a dude that's like in his 40s that does EDM. That's a mix of like jazz and funk. I like him so much. I've got a pair of his overalls sitting over here. I just posted a picture of me wearing them. Support local bluegrass. Ain't my thing, but if it's your thing, do it. Live music here is at church. I can almost bet. See, the thing is, you say that, but like any of you that listen to hardcore music, the Devil Wears Prada started out as a church band, and they became like one of the baseline bands for what hardcore music is today. Toad Muffins. I did not say Toad, but we'll pretend that I did. You're just stuck on Toad Muffins. There was somebody else that asked a question, and we'll hop off because we're like 10 minutes over.
Are we?
I'm sick, tired rambling at this point. As a wire wrap jewel artist, I make one-of-a-kind pieces. What's one piece of advice you could possibly give to try to expand, since I can't recreate each piece the same over again?
You can. It's not exactly the same, but Etsy wants to see listings that sell more than once. We actually have an interview with one of my students, Crystal, and it's from 3-ish years ago, and she does wire wrapped jewelry as well. And the thing that allows her to gain the favor of Etsy's algorithm, I think she still sells. I'm not sure. It's been a really long time. But the thing that allowed her to gain the favor of Etsy's algorithm by creating repeatable listings that could sell over and over again was she would, source her stones, assuming that you're wire wrapping. Did she say stones? Do you wire wrap stones? Because if you're just using wire, then you absolutely can. You might not want to. It might not be super convenient. They might not be perfectly identical, but you can use the same strategy to make something wire wrapped. But for her, she would buy the same general size stones, and obviously all stones are going to vary slightly. But let's say that she was doing a quartz pendant, and she had, a stone that was around the same size and shape. She would make the listing for the wire wrapped quartz pendant. Somebody at the door. She would she would make her pendant. She would list it with those keywords.
That's FedEx.
So. Okay. And then she would, when that one would sell, she would make another quartz pendant that is all the same keywords, around the same size, as close to what she had as possible. She would take her new photos of it. But because it is essentially the same pendant, it's just due to the unique nature of gemstones and wire wrapping, there will be slight variance. She would update, the photos to the new version and say, like, this is, the version of this one that I have right now. And that is okay. What you can't do is like swap the colors or swap it for a completely different piece that is totally, something different. But she did these really cool wire wrapped, I think they were pumpkins. she did like pumpkins, and she got the size of the stones, relatively similar, and she would wire wrap and make different pumpkins. And obviously they all turned out kind of different, but she had her listings for, this type of stone and this type of stone, and here's the amethyst pumpkin. And then when that amethyst pumpkin would sell, she would, make another one and take the picture and swap out the photo. And that's how she could build a brand that perpetually sold, but still essentially was one of a kind.
Brittany said, "I love this place. You don't know how much how much this community's helped me, and I don't even sell on Etsy anymore." We love you guys. Our sole goal here, like, obviously we have to make a living, but if we get to make a living trying to make you successful, then it's super fulfilling for us. So I'm glad that you enjoy yourself here.
Nicole, for the ones that you're making, you could either try to get them as close as possible with those upcycled materials, or you have a shop that has products that can sell over and over again. Those can be the items that bring people into your storefront. So you've got like the items, like let's say the collars, for example, you're making the collars, and you can make multiple of a collar, and then people find the collar and search, and then I don't know about you guys, but I never just add something to my cart and check out. I always go to the store to see if there's more that I want from them. So that's where they would visit your storefront, and then they would see the couple of one-of-a-kind pieces. And then they might add one of those to their cart. So the issue is when you have a shop that's all one-of-a-kind. Totally okay to have a couple one-of-a-kind pieces in your storefront, because the other listings will hopefully bring people in where they will discover the one-of-a-kind things.
That's it.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. This upcoming Tuesday, I am covering things that entered the public domain in 2026. I try to do one every single year so I can stomp misconceptions, because this year, Betty Boop kind of entered the public domain. And I've seen a lot of news posting Betty Boop now in the public domain, except her name at the time was not Betty Boop, and the version of her that the news articles are posting is not the version of her that is safe to make products based around. The Betty Boop that we can use was not even called Betty Boop yet, and she looked more like a puppy. So I'm going to be covering more things in the public domain. That way we can kind of stomp the misconceptions so people don't end up getting themselves in trouble. I try to do one of these every year. So that's coming. Last Tuesday, I did an interesting piece about AI. I was really nervous about it, but I do talk about the realistic consequences of the utilization of AI and
that was a spicy video.
The expansion of data centers. I make sure to try to, acknowledge all of the different use cases. And in the message, the main message of the video isn't like, let's all get rid of AI, because
it's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen. We're not going to get rid of AI.
Just be smarter about it.
Be smarter, be more intentional. It doesn't need to be something that you use for literally every single thing that you do, and be aware of the consequences of doing so. Every time you generate, be mindful. Like, do I need to use ChatGPT instead of Google? Like, is it okay to sometimes and unfortunately, when you Google things, you get Google AI, and then you don't have a choice. But
right.
Trying to do things, on your own is important. You don't need to AI generate everything that you do. So anyway, there is a real cost that comes with the use of AI, and every single prompt has a real tax on our planet.
It really does. Speaking of which, if any of you live in the greater Dayton area around Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, they just secured a $10 million contract to build an AI plant on base. So there's that. Thankfully, the construction company is easy to find. It's Butt Construction Company, B-U-T-T Construction. So if anybody wants to protest, it's hilarious.
He thought that was hilarious.
If anyone's going to do anything crappy, it's going to be Butt Construction Company. So saying get some rest. I'm going to do the opposite of that. I got to go to the store and get stuff to cook, because we're supposed to get like 5 to 20 inches of snow. Yay. Thankfully, we're sending the kid away to my parents.
Where she'll probably end up stranded.
So we're going to sit at home and hopefully, if I'm better, drink some wine and eat some stews and breads and get all fat and sassy.
Oh, have you guys ever seen that video of that old lady that they're interviewing on the news?
It last night.
She said, I'm going to eat some breads and some soups and get all fat and sassy.
That's what we're going to do this weekend.
I love her.
Soups and get fat and sassy. But we love you guys. we got a video to record, and then I got to go to the store and try not to die in the cold. And oh, goodness. Good luck to y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Survive the storm.
Survive the storm. Stay
Survive.
safe. Don't take any unnecessary risks. The cold ain't nothing to joke about.
No.
And it's not going to go above like 18 degrees here for the next 2 weeks.
Bring your pets inside or stay outside with them.
Right. If you can't handle it out there, they can't handle it out there. I don't care what kind of dog you have. Bring them inside. If it's a cat, don't let them out.
I was traumatized as a child because someone in my family, I won't say who, left a dog out in the freezing temperature and he froze to the bottom of his doghouse. There's no such thing as an outside dog. Dogs are not bred to be outside today.
Yeah, they are
not wolves.
If it's not an Arctic wolf, it's not meant to be outside. Anyway, we love you guys. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.